The soldier had just been issued a brand new uniform, but the collar was sewn with a stranger's name. He thought the officer had made a mistake and turned back to exchange it. The officer took it, looked at it, and tore off the name tag right away, saying it was just a uniform that someone else had returned because it didn't fit. The soldier happily took the uniform, but he didn't notice that there were dozens of torn-off tags under the officer's desk. The new recruits eagerly put on their brand new uniforms, with no idea that just a few days earlier, these uniforms had been worn by another group of young soldiers. Those soldiers had died under enemy fire, and their clothes and shoes had been stripped off. Then the uniforms were transported from the front line to the rear supply department. The female workers washed the uniforms several times to get rid of the bloodstains. The tailors mended the bullet holes in the uniforms. But because there were so many uniforms, many of the name tags were forgotten and not removed. Since there was a shortage of soldiers at the front, these new recruits were sent straight into battle. They were cheerful and singing all the way, dreaming of achieving great things on the battlefield. Soon, however, their enthusiasm faded. The long march had left them exhausted. Just then, several shells exploded around the group. They were gas shells. Under the officer's command, the new recruits hastily put on their gas masks. But the real hell had only just begun. The battle raged from day to night. The water in the trenches was constantly wearing down the soldiers' morale. An old soldier, listening to the sporadic gunfire around him, judged that they would be heavily attacked by the enemy that night. And the first task for these new recruits upon arriving at the battlefield was to clear the water from the trenches. This was not what they had imagined when they thought of charging into battle. That night, a soldier on guard duty spotted an injured enemy in the middle of the battlefield. He was excited because he finally had a chance to shoot the enemy. He pulled the trigger without hesitation. Just as he was basking in the joy of having killed the enemy, a bullet hit his head. Fortunately, his steel helmet deflected the bullet. But before he could catch his breath, enemy shells began raining down on their position. To survive, the soldier and his comrades quickly took cover in a dugout. At that moment, the excitement they had felt before joining the army was gone, replaced by endless fear. The enemy's even more intense artillery fire came crashing down. The dugout was about to collapse. The old soldier hurriedly ordered everyone to get out. The soldiers who didn't make it out in time were buried under the rubble. Fortunately, he was rescued by his comrades the next day. The soldier, who had just survived a close call, had barely taken a bite of hard bread when the officer called him to collect the dog tags of the fallen soldiers. But halfway through the search, he found his classmate's eyes. He had a bad feeling and quickly searched around. In the end, he found his friend's body not far away. At that moment, the new recruit truly felt the cruelty of war.